Okay, I've got something here, directions, that will help you Harley guys out so much. It's about the rear wheel alignment on your Harley Davidson. And this will work on the double tube, soft tail, or the single swing arm like an electric guide or a Sportster. It's very simple, guys. You know, they show on the rear wheel alignment, they sell this piece of wire with a piece of rubber or a piece of plastic on the end, and they hold it all the way up to the center of the bolt head where the frame mounts on to the front part of the motorcycle to the center of the bolt on the axle. People, that is the stupidest thing you can do, because I know as a machinist, the center of any head of any bolt is not machine true or accurate, because it's not meant to measure from. You know, when it comes to this, it's not meant to measure from. The way you do it is like the Japanese have been doing it for the past 60 years. The Japanese have it together on that. Although I don't own a Japanese motorcycle, and I never will. You know, it's just not my thing. I like something heavier, you know. I don't know. Why do I need something heavier? I don't care for heavier women. I care for them to be a bit lighter on their feet. Okay, I talk slow so people will understand me. Let me tell you how, after you tighten your drive belt on your Harley, or if you have an older Harley, pre-1985, it still has the chain. Same thing still applies. Same thing still applies. Okay. I made another video like this about 6 months ago. But, you know, I'm just doing a touch-up because there's actually, I can even make it simpler for people to understand. First off, buy yourself a blade gap gauge. Yeah, one of these old dinosaur tools. These were used by guys like me in the late 60s and during the 70s. You know, when we would adjust points, you know, ignition, stuff like that. Just buy one. It'll be worth it, and I'll tell you why. Because you won't be running your rear wheel at an angle and have premature tire wear and faulty handling. Okay? And you'll get that back wheel on there straight. Okay, here's the thing you want to make sure on your Harley. Those adjuster bolts that are on there, you know, no matter if they're located in the rear, like a single swing arm, or on the soft tail that has the double tube swing arm assembly, to where the bolts, you know, the head of the bolt is towards the front of the motorcycle. Okay, they have a nipple on the end. Take those bolts out before you try to line it up, and measure those bolts. Make sure that those bolts are the exact same length. Okay? Because they're supposed to. If they're not the exact same length, buy some that are the exact same length. Like if someone put in a universal bolt for an adjuster screw. Now get the originals that have the nipple on the end, because see, on these Harleys, you have a thick washer on both sides. It looks like Pack Lady. A lot of you might remember that video game. It was round, and then it had like a mouth. There's a thick washer, and it's like it has a mouth. Well, see what it is, when you screw that adjuster bolt in, it goes into that mouth. See, on that washer, it has a notch in it. It's a thick washer, a thick washer. Okay, all you have to do, all the way at the end of the bolt, first off, on the left side of your motorcycle, if you have the drive belt, turn the adjuster screw in until you adjust the tension for your drive belt. Or it can be a chain, you know, the old pre-1985 with the chain, you know. Or if it's a Sportster, the drive belt on the right side of the motorcycle, you'd want to get your belt tension right first. Then, you know, on the opposite side, on a Softail, you know, you'd go over to the right and match that bolt, you know, to what is on the left side of the bike. Alright, flip out these blades, and you know what? You don't even have to read them. That's the beauty of this. You don't even have to read them. Okay, go over, use the thinner blades, like see the beginning and end, the thick blades, just push them back in, see, and have it about like this, see, about like this, right here with these blades. Alright, on the part, the head of the adjuster bolt, the very inner part of the head, where the threads start, to the piece of metal on the swing arm frame, alright, and start dropping these blades in that clearance. And then when you get to a blade to where you have to push it in to where it's got drag and it's tight, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. And then you go to the other side and you match that one to where it's also snug with the same amount of blades. So see, you don't even have to read these blades. You're just getting a tight fit. So you're using your thinnest blades on here, and you're getting a snug, tight fit when you try to pull it back and forth. Alright, if you do that, that is a machine perfect rear wheel alignment. It is perfect, and that's all there is to it. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I had a bolt up here I could demonstrate with. You know, let me see if I can draw like a diagram of that for y'all right quick. It's worth it to y'all to know this, because I've seen on here some Harley tech shops, and they're telling people to use that stupid long piece of wire. And that is a stupid thing to do. And it's not a true alignment. It's faulty. That's not a true alignment, guys. Here's some paper I can draw on. Okay. I'm going to draw, okay, like the pack lady figure with the notch in it. And then the bolt. Okay, goes through that. And then where it screws in. Okay, right here. And then the threaded part. And then the head on the outer part, okay? Alright. Okay, provided these bolts are the same length, okay, you see where the outer part of the bolt is and that arrow I have above it? Right in there. See that part right in there. You can't see it with my hand in the way. But where that arrow is pointing at those threads behind the end of the bolt inside the head. And then there's the round washer with the notch in it, the little mouth, and there's a nipple on the end of that bolt. If you get those behind the end of the head of that bolt, the inner part, identical on both sides, just use however many of these blades you need to get a snug fit. Okay? And one side matches the other. And if your belt is the right tension, hallelujah. That is the best alignment you are going to ever get. And keep these little plastic containers that these blades come in, and I'll tell you why. I've learned over the years, back when I had to use these, back in the 70s or whatever, you leave these types out, they get crap on them. Some will even rust. Those blades stick together, and they're no good to measure with if they have debris on them. They got to be smooth and clean. Keep them in the, pouch, or wrap them in something, or whatever. But it's a short video. It was just a simple drawing I did on the back of an envelope, and but it'll save you people a lot of trouble. These tech top shops, they tell people so much stupid nonsense, it's only going to mess them up. Because if you measure, take that long piece of wire that goes up to the bolt that goes into the frame, down to the axle bolt to align one, it's not going to be accurate. That's not an accurate method, people. And it's not necessary. The Japanese, for the past 60 years, you look at the swing arms on their motorcycle, it has a washer and then a bolt on the outer part, and it's got lines engraved into it. You match the lines on each side, see? Their setup is even better. I don't know why Harley didn't do that too. It's just a lack of caring or whatever, but anyway, they got the machining right as far as the hole that the axle and the washer goes through. They got that, the machining right, and those thick washers, pack lady, I call it. They got those right, but this will help y'all. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you don't understand what I've told you to do, leave a comment. And generally, now this doesn't always fall true, after you do this, align your rear end and get your belt tension right, you ride it around or just roll it back and forth a little bit. And if you don't have like a groove between the drive belt and the rear sprocket on each side where you can put a thumbnail in or whatever, generally that means you didn't get it perfectly straight, but not always, because not all of these belts, like you can have a drive belt, but then, and even though the belt is straight, one part, the rubber can protrude on the right or left side of a drive belt and go out a little bit more. So that's, it's not necessarily, you can't necessarily go by that. But if you put the bike on a jack and you turn the rear wheel and you look at the drive belt at the back of the rear sprocket, it should at some point line up to where there's a gap on each side that's about equal. Like you've got the, sprocket, and then the sides, that hold, on the outside of the belt. You'll have an equal groove on each side. But if at some points it's all the way to the left or all the way to the right, don't panic. Because actually, if you get those adjuster screws are the same length, and you get that the way I told you to do it, that alignment is going to be perfect. It will be perfect, man. And, next video I might make one about front fork alignment. The trees, on the forks of a Harley, sometimes those are out of line a little bit. And it can cause your motorcycle to pull to the left, or it can cause or to the right, and it can cause an issue when you're turning. Make your turning span greater or whatever. To where you have to go out further or whatever. But we'll discuss that in the next video. But anyway, I love you all. Do right. And remember, Jesus Christ is your Savior. Do others right and good things will happen to you. Maybe not right now, but eventually they will.